All right. Welcome, everyone. And I hope you're having a happy Friday the 13th. Lachelle and I are coming to you today because we're going to talk about strategies for successful living. This is the event that we were hoping to have live in Indianapolis, but unfortunately, the cards did not come out in our favor. So we're still coming to you live today via Zoom to share with you our thoughts on strategies for successful living. So I am Cecilia Morris, your lifestyle and business coach. My goal is to teach as many people as I can how to live a more fulfilling lifestyle by setting themselves up with multiple streams of income. And then Lachelle, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, we'll go ahead and get started.
Yes, I am Lachelle Atkins, America's Supermom, and I am a coach just all around life. I have had my share of being hospitalized for depression, anxiety, stress, and now I have learned to know what my triggers are, how to overcome, and have strategies that can help you daily live a more fulfilled life.
Wonderful. So the way this is going to go today, you guys, I'm going to share a little bit of my strategies for successful living regarding multiple streams of income, finances, and lifestyle. And then Lachelle will share her strategies as well. And then we'll open it up for Q&A at the end. So if you are joining with us live, give us a like, give us some hearts, say hello so we can acknowledge you and say hello back. One of the things that we are offering with this live webinar today is we are giving you the opportunity to get our 30 days to success strategy plan. So here shortly, I'll go ahead and post the links for Shell and I, so you can reach out to us to get your 30-day strategy plan. We are doing this in line with our 30th high school reunion for tomorrow, class of 89, North Central High School, Indianapolis, Indiana. So we thought we'd stick with the theme of 30. We're going to give you a 30-day plan for $30, and that is the best price you'll probably ever see for a plan that can really get you unstuck and off the struggle bus and into action. So with that being said, shoot, I'm sorry. No. Okay. So look, messages coming through. Let me turn that over so I can drown out that. So with that being said, so let's talk about how did I get to this place, where I want to talk about strategies for successful living. Well, I landed here because I have always been in network marketing. I've always had a desire to generate multiple streams of income. But my company that I was with was shut down by the FTC in 2015. I think they were down for like 4 to 6 months or whatever. They fixed whatever needed to be fixed, which is great. And they were able to open up again. But you can imagine 4 to 6 months in any business that totally shuts down, it's hard to rebuild that, to rebuild your team, to rebuild and find customers, because everybody you were with 6 months ago, they were all in. 6 months later, not so much. So I tried to rebuild with another business that I really liked, but unfortunately it wasn't working. All the methods I used before, talking to friends, family, neighbors, and strangers, it just wasn't getting it, So we had to step away, take a step back, and get myself refocused with my business. So what I decided to do at that time was to find out how to use the internet. I got a marketing degree. I've got a master's in marketing and information systems. I'm like, how am I going to figure out this new world that I'm navigating? So what I did was went online and I started learning. I immersed myself in everything that I could find to teach me about online marketing, whether it was paid or unpaid. I was going to figure this out because I didn't want my job to be my only stream of income. And I also didn't want to stay at that same job for the rest of my life. So with that being said, I started coming up with a strategy. So the strategies that I have for you today is number one, start figuring out what it is that you want to do. What are you passionate about? What are you interested in? What do you want to learn about? So that way you build a skill that you can charge others for. Now, I've always been told you don't have to know everything. You just have to know more than the person you're sharing information with, okay? So everybody starts at ground zero. I started ground zero 2 years ago. I had to figure out what it was I wanted to do. I knew the internet was the fastest and the easiest way for me to gain the following that I was looking for. So I immersed myself in everything internet so that way I could build a successful brand, and my brand is me, because the skills, the background, and the experiences that I have are unique to me, but it can be a great story, as it has been to a lot of other people who are seeking ways to generate multiple streams of income. So number one, find out what that thing is that you can do to make money from, get the skills that you need to be successful at it, and also to be able to teach others. You've got to be able to share what you have, and it's a duplicatable process. So figure it out and then get all the knowledge that you can to make it happen. The second thing you need to do is you need to package yourself, so that way you become branded with that thing that you're an expert in. So for me, it's multiple streams of income. I have programs that start as low as $27, and I have programs that actually, I have some free programs I just added to my portfolio. I have free programs, $27 programs. I have coaching sessions, business programs that start at $50. I have coaching sessions that go all the way up to $2,700. I have DIY packages where I send you a kit, like we're offering you with the 30-day plan, where you can do it yourself at your own pace. So there's all kinds of things that I can offer, and that's outside of the skills that I offer to businesses, such as social media management. I'm on Upworks. That's a great site for freelancers to get jobs. I just completed a job last week. So that's how you get yourself out there, get yourself known. That's number two. So find a way to monetize that skill that you identified in number one that you want to have. So once you find a way to monetize it, then you need to find a way, number three, to share it with others. You know, I found out a long time ago, not everybody is interested in what it is that you have to offer. And that's why you need to find your target market. And the process of finding your target market is to identify who it is you want on your team or in your business. And that's a process. I have an avatar for that. If you're watching this show, and I'm not sharing it, I'll share when Shell talks. But if you're watching this live or the replay, definitely type avatar in the comment and I'll send you my avatar worksheet. An avatar is your ideal client or customer. You're identifying their pains, their wants, their needs, their desires. You are identifying where they shop, what type of stuff they watch on TV, what kind of books do they read, what are they passionate about, you know, and then you develop your marketing campaign around the people that you want to work with. And one of the things that's a benefit about being an entrepreneur is that you choose who you get to work with. It's not like at work where you're thrown into the pit with your other coworkers who may or may not like you, who may be backstabbing you, who knows what's going on behind the scenes. With this opportunity that I have, all of them, you get to pick and choose who you work with, because at the end of the day, this is your business and you are your own boss. So that's number three. Number four is you got to have a advertising campaign. It can't be your social media Facebook page. You need a business page. It doesn't cost you anything to have a business page, but your friends, family, and everybody on your social media page are probably not in your target market, which is what Shell and I found out building out our event. So an advertising budget allows you to target specifically those people that you identified as your avatar. So that's number four, having an advertising budget. And then number five, to close it out, is once you start advertising, you have to review your results, revise your results, and you keep testing and keep tracking your results until you find that winner. And then that's when you go all in and make sure that you are hitting, as I said, your target market dead on. So that's a process of testing with your Facebook advertising campaign. And as I say with advertising, if we are still seeing McDonald's commercials, Wendy's commercials, Panera commercials in 2019, everybody knows the name Starbucks, you know, we all know the name. If we're still seeing commercials, these big companies understand the importance of advertising. So don't underestimate the importance of what it'll mean for you and your business. So that's in a nutshell my 5-step plan on strategies for successful living as an entrepreneur and generating multiple streams of income. If you want my avatar, type avatar in the comments. If you want a special coaching session with me, type coach with Cecilia, or consult with Cecilia, or chat with Cecilia, something like that in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you. So while Shell is giving us her successful, I look over there like she's right next to me. But
hey, right next to you, girl.
So while Shell's giving you her strategies, I'm going to make sure that I get this shared out in groups. And I'm also going to post links for both she and I so you can reach out to us. Thank you for
Awesome.
listening.
All right. Well, she did a great job. I was taking notes myself because, you always can learn. It's so good to sometimes have a minute to sit back and have that moment of peace and mindfulness. When you have a conversation, that's the first thing. This is even just a bonus, y'all. When you go to events and go to places, I mean, always have a notepad or something to write some notes on. I don't care if it's the back of a receipt or something, you know, go into any opportunity as if there is something of value that you're going to get from that opportunity. It just puts you in a different mindset, and you are looking for a nugget to take and incorporate and implement, which is totally different than just thinking, what's in it for me, that type of thing. But if you're going into it, every thing you see as an opportunity, is something to write down, you'll have a better appreciation for it. But a little bit about me. Again, I stated before, I'm a life coach. My struggle was with depression and anxiety, stress, and I was hospitalized 3 times for that. And so, I had a situation where I was playing the victim. I was really feeling bad about my story, feeling defeated. It just consumed me. It was all I talked about until I learned how to deal with that. So I do have a strategy called a fresh strategy, and that's a PDF that is free. So if you're interested in that, you can put that in the comments. You can get that for free or get it on my website. But today I'm just going to give you 3 key areas that you need to tackle if you are in that place of feeling like you're overwhelmed, stressed out, you have no goals, no motivation, life is passing you by, you don't feel fulfilled, just some of those things that are going on. So for me, being married 26 years and us having 13 children that are living in the home with us, with 15 total, it has just been a roller coaster. Of course, you have transition, not just in our own personal lives, but in the lives of our kids. And, it's like a revolving door. Something's always changing, new things going on. And so I just didn't manage it well. I just didn't know how to manage what was going on. I was the only child, didn't have any siblings. And, I was just into trying to add value to people, be a helper. And that's kind of the mindset that I had. But what I found in my own journey was that I just didn't have any goals. I had goals for my children. I had goals for my marriage and goals for different places where I would interact, in terms of roles or positions and things like that. But I never really had my own goals because I was so busy trying to please others. Is something going on?
Yes, I got dual speakers. Sorry. Okay, we're good.
So I really didn't recognize that I didn't have my own goals because I wanted my kids to do good in school. So I was doing what I could to help them with that. I wanted, my husband to do good on his job. He was the only one working. So I had this attitude, hey, he's at work, I'm manning down the house and, buried everything on my shoulders and everything, and just was in this survival mindset. And you just can't go in survival mode all the time. Survival mode is for emergencies only, not to live every day in. So for 3 things that I want to tackle really quick in terms of successful living is the first thing is to know yourself. So I hid behind my kids, behind my husband and the stuff he was doing. He was also an officer in the military. He is a pastor. So different forms of leadership, I was hiding behind being a supporter, not really having my own goals and trying to do what I can to help somebody else accomplish their own goals and not having any of my own. And so if someone asked me, what's the ideal day look like for you? I wouldn't even know the answer because I was so busy running around, putting out fires for everybody else. So the first thing is to know yourself. So how do you know yourself? You have to realize and dig deep. For me, I had lost myself. My voice, I had buried it because I always wanted to do what was best for the family. There were times that I sacrificed going out to eat. I think, well, this money that I'm using going out to eat, I could go to the store, get a bulk thing of ice cream and some ice cream cones. And, we could have like a dessert day for the kids. I always thought for the whole group instead of taking time for myself. And so the first thing you have to do to get to know yourself is think about, what are some things that I like? What are some of my goals? Go back and think about, when you were a kid, what are some things that you like to do? What if you just could be by yourself for the whole day? What would that look like? Just starting off small. I had to let go of social media. I had to get away from the news because I had to find out what my definition of success was in these different areas, because I was always led by whoever was leading me based on what their definition of success was. So if I was at an officer's function, I'm thinking, okay, well, what do they think an officer's wife should look like? What should I be wearing? I never really had my own input. So when you get to know yourself, you have to take some time to find out, be still with yourself and find out, what does success mean to you? What does it mean to be a wife? What does it mean to be a mother? Not what anybody else is doing, but what do you want to do? Do you want to be a stay-home mom? Do you want to be a mom that has a career? Find out for yourself. So that's the first thing, is to know yourself. The second thing is knowing what you can and cannot control. This is key, because my thing was, okay, the family, we're going to do this for the family. We're going to do that, do this. And all these things that I aspired to accomplish, they were out of my control. Of course, I want my kids to do good in school, but they have to do the work. So if I'm tying all my happiness onto my kids doing whatever they do, that's pressure on them and pressure on me over something I can't even control. So I had to learn that what I can control is what I do and how I respond. So with that being the case, it really made me a lot more conscious of what a goal really means for me and how I have a plan to go about strategizing to accomplish that. So of course I want to do what's necessary for my kids to perform well in school, for example, but I can't control if my daughter doesn't understand algebra. The only thing I can do is say, well, I value her getting a good education. I value her understanding this. Okay, if I can't teach her, I'm going to get her a tutor, or I'm going to provide the opportunity for her to go before and after school. So do you see how that kind of changes things? The dynamic is she has to do the work, but if she doesn't understand something, my job is to support her if that's her goal. Well, certain standards, it's like, look, you're going to pass the class. We're not going to have the attitude, I don't understand it. We're just not going to do anything. So there's a difference between what your standards are and what somebody's working towards. So even in your business, you can't do something for your clients. They're going to have to do it for themselves. Even if you're in a product oriented business, they're going to have to order the product. They're going to have to maybe put the product together, or pay to have it delivered and put together by somebody else. So there's things that are outside of your control. You can't control how it's shipped. You can't control how it's delivered to them, what day, what time. So certain things are out of your control. So when you figure out what it is that you can't control, what you do is you begin to set boundaries and standards around the things that that you bring to the table. So for example, with this event, I couldn't control if Celia was going to be here or if Renee was going to be here, right? Only thing I could control is what I was doing, what my content was going to be. So whether they came or not, I still would be here providing the same content, but I have to learn to recognize that things come up, and it allows me to be a lot more flexible, to not be so driven and having my success tied to somebody else's desire to be present or not. So this is a good lesson that I've learned even with my Facebook Lives, because there's times where the person is there, but for some reason we cannot connect. We can't get online for some reason. Maybe it's some background static or something going on. So knowing what you can control, what it is you're bringing to the table, how you're going to respond to that. If you're somebody who wants to add value, you can do that regardless of what anybody else does. You determine how you're going to respond, and that's the best thing. And then the last thing is the power to create your own outcomes. So if I want to be a mom who stays home, a mom who bakes cookies, or, whatever the case is, I have control over creating that outcome. So it's up to me to determine how I'm going to do that. It's not anybody else's responsibility to make it easy for me to do that. Okay. So, when I go and have children, for me being a mother, I could say, yeah, I'm a mom or whatever, being excited about it, but it's not anybody else's obligation or responsibility for them to make it easy for me to be a mom. It's my responsibility to take accountability for what my role is and what value I want to bring and to make it happen. Okay. So you have the ability, regardless of where you are starting, whether you had your kids natural childbirth, C-section, or they're adopted or whatever, when it comes to motherhood, you have the ability to determine from this day forward how motherhood looks to you, what it is you want to be involved in. How do you want to interact with your kids? What values you want them to grow up and learn? And so it's important for us to take the stance of recognizing that, look at my kids, they're giving me cookies. Something I don't need, but it's a blessing. So they baked some cookies and gave them to me. So the thing about it is recognizing that whatever it is that you're desiring, you have the ability to create that. If you've never created it before, just look at day one as a blank slate and get with people that can help you. So one of the things I used to tell my clients this: if you were to leave your house right now, or job, or wherever you are, and go somewhere and meet somebody who's a stranger, whatever it is you desire, you can tell them. So if I say, I see myself as a millionaire, right? And I go to the store and I'm like, yeah, introduce myself. I'm Lachelle Atkins. I'm America's, #1 millionaire. People don't know that this is not true. Whatever you believe in yourself, people will believe and agree with you. They don't know me from anybody, right? So I can go and say, yeah, I'm America's new millionaire. Oh, I met this lady. She's a millionaire. How did you do it? They would probably ask me questions about it or whatever. How did you get to be a millionaire or whatever? So, whatever reality you want for yourself, you can start saying that. Who is going to deny that? It's up to you to begin to think about what characteristics does this person have that I can begin to work on so I can make this reality. Because you can believe something, but it takes a while for it to manifest. So I could say, I got some land, I want to build a house. It's not going to happen tomorrow, but I can get an architect, I can get a plumber, I can get an electrician, all the parts that I need in order to make this house a reality. So the house is not there. I can tell everybody the minute I get the land, yeah, I'm a homeowner. I'm building the house. The house, there's no physical evidence. So it's up to you to build that reality. And so there may be people that don't agree with that. So if I am building this house, I'm not going to go get with a bowling alley person who owns a bowling alley and expect them to agree with me on this house, because at this point, they may not have the vision for that. They're doing something totally different. So I use that just big contrast to show you that the people that are helping you build the house are the ones you need to be concerned about right now. So in reality, when you're building something that's different, maybe your family, they may not be able to agree with you right now. Save that for a different time. But whatever it is you're building, get with the people that give you the energy, the excitement, they give you the insight, they mentor you, they show you the way, they give you the hacks or whatever it is in order for you to build something from nothing, because we're starting out at ground zero. So as long as we remember that and we build on that from this point further, it makes us that much more clear about the things that we're trying to accomplish. And so you don't look for that validation. So when you recognize that you can control your own story, what it is that you're creating, you have the ability to begin to make this reality your own with the things that you are desiring to do. You're going to find the people that are going to help you, the people that are going to resonate with your story, and you're going to move forward from there. So that's pretty much it. You first have to know yourself. you have to know what is the things that you have control over. What are some things that you can control and what things you can't control? And then you have to know the power to create your own destiny and getting with people that resonate with that story. What are the people, how are they going to help you with that? How are they going to help you through that journey? So if you are interested in a PDF that's going to go a little bit deeper about 5 different key strategies, it's called the Fresh Start. You can hashtag fresh in the comments and get that PDF sent to you, or you can go ahead and just go on my website, LachelleAtkins.com, and get that. Okay.
Perfect, Shell. And thank you for those tips. You know, as I've talked many a times, mindset and skill set go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. And Shell is definitely an expert on what she speaks because she's lived it as I'm an expert on what I speak because I'm living it every day. You know, I left corporate America March 22nd, 2018. March 23rd, they told me don't worry about coming back. And I said, okay. And I have been self-employed, entrepreneur, business builder, virtual assistant, as social media manager, you name it. I've done it ever since. And I enjoy the journey and the freedom that my life provides. And this is what I talk about with lifestyle. Create the lifestyle that you desire. Don't wait for someone else to create it for you, and use your job to fuel your passion. You know, they are whispering, not really whispering, they're pretty much shouting it out that we're about to go into a recession. So don't let your job be your only source of income. You can do so many things on the side. What is a post I did the other day? Your 9 to 5 is what you do to pay your bills. Your 5 to 9 is what you do to live your life. So let's start living our best lives and creating the successful lifestyle that we desire. So in the comments, I did post the link to get to Lachelle. She gave you her website, LachelleAtkins.com. I posted the link to reach her directly, info@LachelleAtkins.com. I also posted a link to get with me as well as a bit.ly link to my calendar so you can schedule time where you can actually chat about where it is, what it is you want to do, excuse me, how to reach your target audience. Remember, I said type avatar in the comments if you want that free PDF from me. Develop your marketing plan, start advertising, and then analyze and your results and then put it back out there. So thank you for joining in. I do appreciate it. Don't forget, we have our 30-30-30 plan, our 30-year reunion, our 30-day strategy, and it's only for $30. So Shell, do you have any closing remarks? And then we'll open up for questions.
All right. I just want to say that, you know, one of the things when it comes to living a fulfilled life is making sure that you're doing what makes you happy. Also that you can be happy every day. Now, we do have unfortunate things that happen to us, just like there's birth, there's death, you know, just like there's happiness, there's sadness. You know, there are things that are absolutely out of our control. And so we don't have to allow these outside things that are outside of our control to really consume us, you know, because everybody has tragedy, everybody has death, everybody has loss, but it's how we handle those things. We do have the ability to respond the way that we want to. So if I'm heavy and laden down with a lot of negativity, it's going to be hard for me to give value to other people, you know, without being consumed with that. So even in the case of, I had somebody who was connected with me on LinkedIn, and she did a Facebook post and just talked about how her mom had just passed away. It really was a blow for her. She was planning to see her on that weekend, and my heart went out to her. But I was able to give her genuine concern from a place of wholeness. Not that I was just immediately thinking about, you know, my dad died. It was 4 years ago, you know, and I still am struggling with that. I was able to recognize that death happens, and I was able to give her what she needed and not get caught up in my own remorse and sorrow, because these things happen. And so we have to recognize when you have a memory, how do you want that memory to be? Is it positive or negative? Is it draining you or is it inspiring you? You know, I think about my dad and the things that he did for me, and I use it to propel myself forward. Now, it's a process. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this happens right away, but you can choose even how memories come to you. There could be some things that spark a memory of me being in the hospital, but am I going to go down that road, or am I going to say, wow, I remember this happened. How am I going to use that to move me forward? Does this serve me to stay in that negative place? No. So you sometimes just have to ask yourself a question. Is this going to move me forward, or is this going to take me back?